Somewhere in New Jersey tonight, a retired couple is sitting at the kitchen table, and they are staring at a single piece of paper. It is a property tax bill. The number printed on it is $14,000. That is not their mortgage. They paid that off years ago. This is just the tax. Just the price of being allowed to keep living in the house they already own, free and clear. $14,000 every single year for the rest of their lives. Now picture a different kitchen table, 3 states to the south, in a quiet green valley with the morning fog still hanging low in the trees. There is a family sitting there too. Their entire property tax bill for the whole year is less than $1,000. Bigger house, more land, a night sky so full of stars it looks faked. Same country, same dollar, a completely different life. And right now, all across New Jersey, people are doing that exact math. And they are getting out. Here is the part that is not up for debate. New Jersey has the highest property taxes in America. Not one of the highest. The highest in 2025. The average single-family tax bill in the state crossed $10,000 for the first time, landing at $10,499, according to the property data firm Adam. Of the roughly 24 counties in the entire country that average over $10,000 a year, 10 of them sit inside New Jersey more than any other state. In Essex County, the average creeps toward $14,000. And people are voting with their feet. More than 35,000 residents packed up and moved to another state in a single year, one of the steepest outflows in the whole country. So this is not a whodunit. Nobody has to wonder why. It is the property taxes. And to be clear, this is a bill you pay after the mortgage is gone. You can own your home outright, owe nobody a dime, and still have to write a 5-figure check every year just to keep it. Or the county can eventually take it from you. That is what people are running from. The only real question left is where that money buys a better life instead. And the place at number 1 taxes an entire home for less than what a Jersey homeowner pays in a single month. We will get there, I promise. But we start where it still looks familiar, because the smartest escapes are not always the most dramatic ones. Before we count anything down, we need rules. Because the internet is stuffed with videos like this, one waving around fantasy numbers in towns nobody is actually moving to. That is not what we are doing here. Every place on this list has to pass 3 tests. Fail even one, and it is off the list. Test 1. People are genuinely leaving New Jersey for it. Not just a cheap dot on a map, a real place backed by real migration data where former Jersey homeowners are actually landing. Test 2. It comes with a real, dramatically lower property tax number, because that is the thing that actually decides this. Not a vague feeling. A number you can hold up right next to your Jersey bill. Test 3. It comes with one honest catch. The insurance, the job market, the winter, the 2-hour drive to a specialist. There is always one, and I am going to say it out loud every single time. Before you fall in love, not after. Because trading one expensive mistake for another is not a fresh start. It is just a new zip code with the same old regret. The whole reason this channel gets watched is that I refuse to pretend the catch is not there. Cheap is easy to find. Cheap without a hidden bill waiting for you is the hard part. And that is the part I am here for. One quick thing before we roll. I am a scout, not your accountant, not your realtor, not your tax attorney. Numbers move, listings sell, insurance quotes swing wildly from one house to the next. Verify every figure for your own town and your own home before you move a single box. This is a starting map, not advice. Now, let us go find the door out. Number 13. We start close to home, in the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania. And this one is on the list because it is where so many Jersey families go first. It is the easy leap, same rolling green hills, same four seasons, lakes tucked back in the pines, ski slopes in the winter, and a drive back to see the grandkids that is still doable on a Sunday. You do not have to reinvent your whole life to live here. You just cross a river. Here is the wow part. Pennsylvania's effective property tax rate runs around 1.24%. And out in these rural mountain counties, the actual dollar bill can land in the low thousands instead of the five figures you left behind. Imagine opening the mailbox in October and not flinching. A modest home up here might run you somewhere in the low 200s, and a tax bill you could cover with a couple weekends of work instead of a second job. Same seasons you already know. Same maple trees turning red in the fall. The same first snow on the mountain in December. You are not learning a new life. You are just paying a saner price for the one you already have. For a lot of Jersey families, that alone is enough to make the leap feel safe. But here is the honest catch, and it is a quiet one that trips people up. Pennsylvania has an inheritance tax, which most states have dropped, so what you leave your kids can get nibbled at in a way it would not in Florida or Texas. And the property tax picture swings hard by school district. The wrong township can quietly cost you thousands more than the one right next door. So you pull the actual millage rate for the exact town before you fall for the Lakeview. Do that, and the Poconos are a soft, sane landing. Now, I point out that catch for a reason, and I am going to do it on every single place on this list, because a lower tax bill is only a win if the town does not take it back some other way. Quick word before we keep going. Everything we keep pointing out, those are the exact catches we dig out of county records every week. And we have put every single one of them into a set of guides called Frank's Land Report Cheap Living Collection. There is one on the 50 catches hidden in cheap land listings, and that is the one for exactly what we are doing today, plus one on the 40 catches hidden in cheap houses, and a state-by-state notebook on where it is actually still cheap and what to ask. They are a few dollars each, instant download, and they are linked right in the description below. All right, back to it, because it only gets better from here. Number 12. Now we do the classic move, the one your uncle already made, Florida. And not the crowded, pricey coast everybody pictures, but the quieter north and the panhandle where the pine forests roll and the springs run clear and cold. This is the number one destination for people leaving New Jersey year after year, and it is not close. Warm mornings, no snow to shovel, a porch and a slow-ceiling fan, and the sense that the hard part of life is finally behind you. The wow fact is the one everybody chases. Florida has no state income tax at all. If you live on Social Security, a pension, or your savings, keeping every dollar of that instead of handing a slice to Trenton can quietly reshape your whole retirement. A tidy home in one of these inland towns can still be found for a reasonable number, and the property taxes, with the homestead exemption, come in far below what you were bleeding up north. But you knew there would be a catch, and this one has gotten sharp. Insurance. Florida is in the middle of a property insurance crisis, and premiums have climbed to levels that can rival a small mortgage payment all on their own. Some longtime homeowners have watched their annual policy double, and a few have lost coverage entirely and had to scramble for a state-backed plan. Between hurricane risk and a broken insurance market, the money the state does not take through income tax, an insurer can quietly take right back month after month. So before you celebrate that no income tax line, you get a real insurance quote on the specific house, on the specific street, not the state average. Roof age matters. Flood zone matters. Distance from the coast matters. Get that number in writing, and Florida can still be everything your uncle promised. And speaking of small states with a big tax secret, the next one is hiding right on Jersey's doorstep. Number 11. Delaware. Yes, that Delaware, the one you have driven through 100 times without stopping. Turns out you should have stopped. It is small, it is flat, it is close, and it is one of the most tax-friendly corners of the entire Northeast. Rolling farmland, quiet beach towns, and a pace that drops the second you cross the line. The wow fact is a double. Delaware has no state sales tax, and its property taxes are among the lowest in the country. A genuine shock for a state wedged in among the most expensive ones in America. On top of that, it goes easy on retirement income. A comfortable home here can cost a fraction of the Jersey equivalent, and the annual tax bill is the kind of number that makes you read it twice. The catch is size and demand. Delaware is tiny, so the good, cheap inland spots get discovered fast, and the popular beach areas around Rehoboth and Lewes carry their own coastal insurance headaches to price in. You will also trade some big city convenience for small state quiet, and there is not much of a job market outside a few corridors. But if you want to slash the tax bill without moving your whole world 1,000 miles away, without leaving the kids and grandkids a full day's drive behind, Delaware is the shortest drive to a lighter life on this entire list. Now, though, we point the truck south for real. Number 10. North Carolina, and specifically the foothills, where the land starts to rise toward the Blue Ridge. This one is not a hunch. It is a stampede. North Carolina pulled in a net gain of over 80,000 new residents in a single year, one of the top magnets in the entire country, and a whole lot of them came from the Northeast. Picture mist burning off the ridgelines, small brick downtowns with actual life in them, 4 gentle seasons, and mountains close enough for a Saturday drive. The wow fact is the whole package. Lower cost of living, a warmer climate, real jobs in the growing cities of the Piedmont, and a property tax burden that is a fraction of the Jersey load. This is the rare escape that does not force you to choose between saving money and having a life. You can retire here, or you can keep working here, and the mountains are still right there on the weekend. A solid home in the foothills can still be reached for a reasonable number, with an annual tax bill that leaves you breathing room instead of taking it away. 1 quarter at a time. Here is the honest catch. Everybody already figured this out. The secret is out, and prices in the most popular pockets around Asheville and the fast-growing suburbs are climbing hard. What was a steal 5 years ago is merely a good deal now. So you look one town over from the famous one, where the same mountains and the same low tax bill are still sitting there, quietly waiting. Get there before the crowd fully arrives. Because just below North Carolina, its quieter cousin might be the smartest landing of them all. Number 9. South Carolina, up in the upstate, the rolling green country between Greenville and the mountains. If you measure migration by how many people arrive for every 1,000 already living there, South Carolina is one of the very strongest magnets in America, and you can feel why the second you get here. Slower mornings, warm springs, front porch neighbors, and a cost of living that lets a fixed income actually stretch. The wow fact is built right into the tax code, and it is aimed straight at the exact person leaving New Jersey. South Carolina carries one of the lower effective property tax rates in the country, and it hands homeowners age 65 and up a homestead exemption that knocks a big chunk off the taxable value of their primary home. For a retiree who spent 40 years feeding the Jersey tax machine, that can turn an already gentle bill into almost nothing at all. It is one of the few places where getting older actually lowers what you owe. A comfortable house in the upstate stays affordable, and the yearly tax is the kind of number a Jersey homeowner would assume was a typo. The catch comes in 2 flavors. If you drift toward the coast around Charleston or Myrtle Beach, you inherit the same hurricane insurance math as Florida. So price it before you fall for the ocean. And the summers here are hot and thick, June through September, the kind of humidity that sits on you like a wet towel. But stay in the cooler upstate, keep your insurance inland, and South Carolina hands you a lighter, warmer, cheaper life for the price of learning to love sweet tea. Real quick, before we hit the next one, if you are getting value out of this, if you would rather have the honest version than the hyped up one, do me a favor and tap that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach other folks who feel trapped by a tax bill on a house they already own. That is all. Now, back to the map. Number 8. Head up into the North Georgia mountains where the southern Appalachians roll into waterfalls, apple orchards, and little towns that look like a postcard somebody forgot to mail. This whole stretch has quietly become a favorite for Northerners chasing space and warmth without going all the way to Florida. The wow fact is a retiree's dream in the fine print. Georgia gives people 65 and older a large exclusion on retirement income, which means a pension or an IRA withdrawal can go largely untaxed by the state. Pair that with property taxes that run far below the Jersey load and home prices that still make sense, and the math starts to feel almost unfair. A mountain home up here can cost a fraction of what you would sell for up north, and the tax bill barely registers. The catch is a tale of two Georgias. Get too close to Atlanta's orbit, and you inherit some of the worst traffic in the country, the kind that can turn a simple errand into an afternoon. Go deep into the pretty mountain counties around Blue Ridge and Ellijay, and you trade that traffic for distance, where the nearest big hospital or specialist might be a real drive down a winding 2-lane road. Neither is a deal breaker. But they are different lives, and you should know which one you are choosing. So you decide honestly which problem you would rather have. Pick your spot with your eyes open, and North Georgia is a warm, cheap, tax-gentle place to land. Now, though, we hit the one that catches almost everybody, and it is the most important lesson in this entire video. Number 7. Texas. Everything is bigger here. The sky, the land, the swagger. And yes, Texas is one of the famous no-income tax states, which is exactly why so many people put it at the top of their escape list. And here is where I have to stop and be straight with you, because this is the beat that separates an honest scout from a hype channel. No income tax does not mean low taxes. Texas has some of the highest property taxes in the entire country. The money the state politely declines to take out of your paycheck, it can quietly take right back through your house every single year, forever. On a big Texas parcel with a nice home on it, that property tax bill can climb into the same ugly territory a Jersey homeowner is trying to escape. And here is the cruel twist for a retiree. In New Jersey, at least, your income tax drops when you stop working. A property tax bill does not care whether you have a paycheck. It shows up the same size whether you are 45 and earning or 75 and living on Social Security. This is the trap. This is the one that gets people who saw the words no income tax and stopped reading. So if you are looking at Texas, and plenty of good reasons exist to you run the actual property tax number on the actual address before anything else, not the income tax you are dodging, the property tax you are inheriting. Do that math with a clear head, and you will know whether Texas is a bargain or just a different bill with a cowboy hat on it. Now, let us get to a place that has the tax perk without the trap. Number 6. Tennessee, up on the Cumberland Plateau, where the hardwood forest runs for miles and the gorges drop away to waterfalls and the whole world goes quiet. This is one of the fastest growing states in the country, and a big reason is sitting right in the tax code. Here is the wow fact, and it is the direct answer to the Texas trap you just heard. Tennessee has no state income tax, and unlike Texas, it also carries one of the lowest effective property tax rates in the entire nation, down around 0.5%. That is the rare combination people think they are getting everywhere and almost never actually find. You keep your income, and you keep your house cheap to hold, both at once. A home on the plateau sometimes with real acreage and a view off the escarpment, can still be found near the affordable end, and the yearly property tax is a small fraction of a Jersey bill. Add in the spring-fed swimming holes and the fall color that draws people from 3 states over, and it is easy to see why the trucks keep rolling in. The catch here is different from all the others. There is nothing wrong with the land. The catch is that everyone else already did this math. The plateau is getting bought up, and prices that were almost a joke 5 years ago are climbing fast now. The window on the truly cheap Tennessee deal is closing in front of us. So, this is not a warning about a flood zone or a bad well. It is a warning about the clock. The honest, gettable Tennessee deal exists right now. It may not exist in the same shape for much longer. And if you want cheaper still, the next one takes us deeper into the hills. Number 5. Kentucky. The green, rolling country where the horses graze and the bourbon ages and the pace of life drops to something your nervous system forgot was possible. Beyond the famous bluegrass, out in the smaller towns and the eastern hills, this is some of the most affordable living left in the eastern half of the country. And Jersey folks are quietly finding it. The wow fact is the raw price of shelter. In a lot of rural Kentucky, a solid home with a bit of land sells for a number that would not cover the down payment up north, and the property taxes to hold it run in the low hundreds a year in many counties. You read that right. Hundreds. The kind of bill you could pay with the change you saved by not living in New Jersey. The catch is jobs and distance. Much of rural Kentucky has a thin job market, so this works best if you bring your income with you, a remote job, a pension, Social Security, something that does not depend on the local economy. And the nearest hospital or specialist can be a long drive down a curvy mountain road, which matters more the older you get, and matters most on the worst day. So this one rewards the self-reliant and the already retired. It is not for everybody, and I would rather tell you that now than have you learn it in February. But bring your own paycheck, and Kentucky hands you land, quiet, and a tax bill that feels like a rounding error, next to what you left. Now we cross into the deepest discounts on the whole list. Number 4. Mississippi. Out in the rolling country and the flat, rich delta, where the soil is some of the best on the continent and the cost of living is some of the lowest in America. This is not a glamorous pick. It is a smart one, and it consistently posts some of the cheapest homes and the lowest tax bills in the nation. Here is the wow fact with a hard number behind it. Mississippi's average single-family property tax bill runs around $1,563 a year, according to Atom. Hold that up against the New Jersey average of $10,499. You could pay a Mississippi tax bill for 6 years and still not match 1 year in New Jersey. A home here can cost a fraction of the national median, and holding it barely moves your budget. The catch is honest, and it is heavy. Many of these towns were built on cotton and farm labor, and when the machines took over the fields, the jobs left with them. A lot of these communities have been shrinking for decades. So like Kentucky, you want your income handled before you arrive. Rural healthcare access is genuinely thin across stretches of the state, and some counties have watched their only hospital close. And the summers are brutal. Heat and humidity from June clean through September that sits on you like a wet blanket. The houses at the very bottom of the price range will often need real work too. Roof, wiring, plumbing, the kind of repairs that stack up. So this one is for the person who wants land and low costs and does not need a job waiting down the road. If that is you and you go in clear-eyed about the fixes, the dirt here is honestly some of the best you will ever sink a shovel into. But the next, one shaves the price even further. Number 3. Arkansas. Up in the Ozark Hills, where the spring-fed rivers run clear over limestone, and the whole region looks like a screensaver and prices like a clearance rack. And Arkansas offers something you rarely see anywhere else, which is why it earns its spot. The wow fact is two-part. First, Arkansas posts one of the lowest average property tax bills in the country, around $1,387 a year. Again, set that next to the Jersey $10,499 and let it land. Second, a lot of Ozark sellers offer owner financing, no bank involved, where you pay the person who owns the land a little every month and skip the whole mortgage circus. That means you do not need perfect credit. You just need grit. The catch is water and access, and it is the one people forget to ask about until it is too late. A lot of these cheap Ozark parcels do not have a well, so you are either drilling one, which can cost a real chunk of what you paid for the land itself, or hauling water in, or catching rain off the roof. And the back roads out here turn to soup the second it rains, the kind of grades that will test whatever you are driving. So, before you sign, you confirm the water situation in writing, and you drive the access road on a wet day, not a sunny one. Solve those two things, and the Ozarks hand you a spring-fed Riverview life for the price of a used car, with a monthly land payment and no bank breathing down your neck. Now we are down to the final two, and the numbers stop making sense. Number 2. Alabama, rolling green country dotted with big shade oaks, long, warm growing seasons, and a genuine southern welcome from the neighbors you do have. It is easy to overlook. It should not be. Because on the single number that started this whole video, Alabama is almost untouchable. Here is the wow fact. Alabama has the second lowest average property tax bill in the entire United States, around $1,284 a year, according to a Tom. Second only to the state we are about to crown. A farmhouse with a little acreage out here can run a fraction of what you would sell for up north, and holding it costs less per year than a single month of a New Jersey tax bill. The pace here slows way down. You will find yourself waving at pickup trucks and meaning it, and the property tax that used to make your stomach drop up north becomes a number you almost forget to budget for. That is a strange feeling for a Jersey homeowner. The absence of dread, it takes a while to trust it. The catch on this style of cheap rural home is usually one word: septic. Many of these older places have an aging or failed septic system or ground that never passed what is called a perk test, which decides whether the soil can even handle a septic field in the first place. If that is the situation, you are looking at a repair bill before you fully settle in. But here is why that is good news for you. A failed septic scares the crowd away, which keeps the price down where you can reach it. And unlike a dying economy or a water rights nightmare, a septic problem is a number on a contractor's, quote, not a life sentence. You fix it with a checkbook and a weekend of patience, so you get the price knocked down by a catch you can actually solve. Now, before the last one, let me be straight with you one more time. You have seen the pattern on every place on this list. A lower tax bill is only a win if the town does not take it back some other way: the insurance, a special assessment, a hidden lien on a cheap house. And the honest truth, after doing this a long time, is that one bad move costs more than everything I have mentioned. Combined, one no-tax state that taxes your house instead. One bargain home you cannot insure. One cheap acre you cannot legally build on. So, I put it all in one place, the complete Cheap Living Field Edition. 3 guides, cheap land, cheap houses, and the state-by-state notebook that tells you what each state really costs, plus the due diligence worksheet you carry right to the county office. Separately, it would run about $45. Together, it is $29.99, and the worksheets are free in the bundle. Think of it as the cheapest insurance you will ever buy on the biggest move of your life. It is linked right in the description. Now, our last one, and it might be the one that hits home the hardest. Number 1. West Virginia. The wild, folded Appalachian Mountains, endless hardwood forest, mist hanging low in the hollows at first light, and a quiet so deep you can hear the creak from the porch. Forget the price tags for a second, because West Virginia does something no other state on this list can match. West Virginia has the lowest average property tax bill in America, about $1,881 a year. According to a Tom, that is nearly 10 times lower than the New Jersey average of $10,490. So sit with the contrast that this whole video has been walking toward. That retired couple back in New Jersey staring at a $14,000 bill for a house they already own. Out here, an entire year of property tax costs less than 1 month of what they are paying. A homestead in these green mountains, sometimes with real acreage and a creek and a ridge full of deer, can be reached for a number that would embarrass a Jersey down payment. And of course there is a catch, an honest one, said out loud like all the others. The economy is thin, built on coal that mostly left and has not come back. So bring your income with you. Services are spread out, and the nearest real hospital or full grocery store might be a long, winding drive down a mountain road that does not always get plowed the day it snows. And here is this sneaky one that trips up newcomers. On a lot of Appalachian land, the mineral rights were sold off a century ago, which means someone else may own what sits under your ground, and in some cases, they hold the legal right to come get it. So you ask, in writing, whether the mineral rights convey with the sale. Do your homework, walk the land, read the deed, and the mountains hand you something genuinely rare. But here is the reframe this whole list has been building toward. So, lean in. The people leaving New Jersey are not running because they hate it. Plenty of them love it, and they have good reasons to stay. They are running from a bill that asks them to keep paying forever for something they already own. And they finally found places that let them actually own it. Cheaper, lighter, theirs. The answer was never really about the tax rate alone. It is the whole math, the home you can afford free and clear. The deed with your name on it, and no county squeezing you dry every quarter for the crime of living in the house you paid for. That is the dream underneath all of it. Not a zip code, a life you actually own. So there it is. Real places, real numbers, and every honest catch spoken out loud the way it always should be. If this earned your trust, that is the whole reason this channel exists. So go ahead and subscribe, because I go looking for these places so you do not get burned by the fakes. And if you know somebody who has spent years quietly feeling trapped by a tax bill on a house they already own, send them this. 1, it just might change how they see the next chapter of their life. Pull the millage rates, get the insurance quote in writing, ask about the well and the mineral rights, and never buy a place you have not stood on with your own 2 feet. Just remember, this is not financial, tax, real estate, or relocation advice. Property taxes, home prices, and insurance all change, sometimes fast. So verify every number for your own situation before you move a single box. Your lighter life is out there. Go find it.